Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sendas virtual annual meeting of the members. My name is Christine Now, and I'm honored to facilitate tonight's meeting. Tonight, board, committee, and management team members will update you on significant projects completed this year, the community's financial standings, the innovative lifestyle ideas implemented during this pandemic, and thanks to ProQual Landscaping and Park Pro, one lucky member will leave this meeting with next year's assessments paid in full. Yesterday, our team emailed you tonight's meeting agenda and the board's response to multiple pre-submitted questions. If you did not receive that email, both documents are accessible on the community's website. This meeting will not pause to respond to questions. However, the board will respond to questions submitted through the Q&A icon located at the bottom of your screen no later than November 20th. The Sendas bylaws establish a quorum of a members' meeting at 10% of eligible members through those of you who are participating in this evening's meeting or submission of absentee ballots. The association secured quorum mid last week with more than 331 members casting their vote. I now ask member Bill Hetling to call this meeting to order.
And I would love to call our 2020 meeting to order.
Thank you, Bill. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you your 2019 and 2020 Board of Directors. Your officers were Bill Hetling as President, Alicia Goforth as Vice President, Mike Peckham as Treasurer, and Linda Barton as Secretary. Directors were Doc Watts, Tony Reed, and Joe Trotter. Due to personal reasons, Joe resigned from the board at the end of February. Soon after, the remaining board members appointed Bruce Bilton to fill the vacated position. Our team provides daily management of Sendas financial, treasury, administrative, maintenance, lifestyle, patrol, and spa and fitness services. Our team members include Dolores, Christy, Aaron, Viva, Kathy, myself, Crystal, Callie, Colleen, I know it's a lot of C's, but bear with us, Mackenzie, Debbie, Morgan, Carol, Craig, Gonzo, Skip, Rich, JJ, Jim, Zane, Mark, Randy, Larry, Gina, Charlotte, Sheila, Marcel, Thomas, Karen, Darla, and Andrew. During the week, team members provide the community with in-person management coverage 23 hours per day, and combined, we have nearly 120 years of experience in the industry. On behalf of our entire team, we want to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to serve your community. This year, those of you who voted electronically had the opportunity to read the 2019 draft meeting minutes and vote to approve, disapprove, or abstain if you did not attend last year's meeting. 98% of eligible voting members approved the 2019 meeting minutes. Thus, the meeting minutes are deemed approved by majority vote. We truly appreciate all of you taking the time to participate in this year's election and approval of the meeting minutes. It is now time for you to learn about the community's significant accomplishments from this year. To kick off these presentations, please welcome your 2019-2020 Board President, Bill Hetling.
Thank you very much, Christine. Once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for spending your evening with us tonight. Well, 2020 was definitely an interesting year. It's a year I know that we're all going to remember, and for many of us, we would soon like to forget. We started off 2020 with really very good momentum going. We had our focused prioritized programs that we were working on. We had a lot of dynamic new lifestyle activities that we were going to execute, and the Spa and Fitness Center was profitable through March. Then, of course, March hit, and our goals for growth and acceleration pivoted radically to protecting our residents and our management team members. That was a big pivot, and that was a lot of work. And I want to thank everyone for their efforts, our board members who worked throughout the entire quarantine lockdown time, our committee members, our CCMC management team, our vendor partners all worked diligently during that entire period. But most of all, I want to thank each and every one of you, our residents, for your patience and understanding as we worked through our challenges that we had this year. Now, we did have a lot of accomplishments in 2020. We had 6 major programs that we wanted to accomplish, and we worked diligently to finish all of them. First was a landscape RFP. We had sent that out to several vendors, and we selected ProQual. Jeff Burgos will take you through that in depth. We had an investment advisory firm RFP where we looked to have a view of other investment companies that really specialize in fixed asset management products and lower investment fees. And we selected PMA in that group. And Mike Peckham will talk about that in depth as well in his Treasury report. We worked on an Enclave Gate RFP to update all of our gates. And Forrest Labruzzo will have a conversation of that later on as well. We also are working to improve our amenity access control. Forrest will also talk about that. We updated 3 of our playgrounds. We had a playground RFP, and many of you who probably have driven by Sonoran Park, Desert Park, probably see all the kids playing on the newest playground. So that was really a great accomplishment for the team, as well as working on a strategic plan, which is soon to be presented to the board and hopefully approved to allow us to have a more focused approach in the coming years as we want to grow our community together. We also had a lot of other 2020 accomplishments. We had 2 pool decks that were refinished, 2 bathrooms that were remodeled. Our front entrance landscape enhancements were done on our major entrances to Las Sendas. We did fire mitigation in our most needed enclaves. We updated our design guidelines. We updated our new resident welcome pack. We updated our community and our trail maps. We stayed within budget and within timing on all of our projects. We reviewed a high-level approach to working with our short-term rental folks within the community. We delivered very strong financial performance, and I probably should say the one thing that I forgot to put on the slide is we're continuing with our asphalt repairs, as you probably have seen the big signs telling you of the road closures and the asphalt work that we're doing in many of the enclaves. So for 2021, we had a prioritization meeting within the board, and we have 6 programs that we were going to work on to deliver for 2021. First and foremost, we're going to deliver all the projects that were started in 2020. So the ones that I just went over, we're going to finish and execute to completion. We're going to deliver and execute a plan for working with our short-term rentals within our community. We're going to develop and execute a strong coordinated marketing and communication plan. We're going to analyze and assess our patrol vis-a-vis border security. We're going to continue with our fire mitigation program, and then we're going to explore updating and repurposing the Trailhead building. As you can always see, we will always strive to make Las Sendas, the Valley of the Sun's most desirable community. With that, I'd like to hand it back over to Christine.
Thank you, Bill. I know that our team, and I'm sure many residents on this call, are looking forward to next year and to see what it has to offer. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our board treasurer, Mike Peckham.
Thank you, Christine. Good evening, everyone. 2020 has been an unusual year, to say the least, and it's not over. But excluding COVID-19 was a very productive year for Las Sendas. We continue to maintain and enhance our financial position. We expect to have a surplus for 2020 with at least a minimum of $150,000. Our reserve funds are showing higher percent funded balances in all three reserve funds. It's been a building year for the Capital Improvement Fund, even with funding a number of projects, and I'll talk more about that later. And finally, we continue to focus on ensuring our longer-term outlook remains positive. Overall, another good year from many perspectives. 2020 was a year of many accomplishments, and the following are some of those achieved by the Finance Committee and Audit Committees of Sendas. First of all, it goes without saying that COVID-19 affected our financial and operational results. It was necessary to close facilities and amenities to protect our residents. We believe this was successful, and we're thankful for that. The Finance Committee carried out their fiduciary responsibility by going to the market and inviting investment management firms to propose on their skills to manage our reserve fund investments. 3 firms responded, and after a thorough analysis, we selected PMA Asset Management. PMA is very experienced, and we believe are specialists with fixed income investments. The Audit Committee oversaw the audit of our 2019 financial statements with our auditors Butler Hanson. In addition to providing a clean audit opinion, Butler Hanson did not feel the need to make any recommendations on Sendas' systems, which means we have the right controls in place to protect our assets. We were also successful this year in collecting some of our older accounts receivable, typically older than 1 year, and we collected in the range of $50,000 to $75,000. We also completed our 2021 budget. This was a team effort well supported by CCMC, specifically Christine and Crystal. I would like you all to join me in thanking the Finance Committee, Audit Committee, and CCMC for all their efforts in getting these projects completed for the benefit of all our homeowners. Thank you. Now let's take a look at reserve funds. First, we'll look at Sendas' reserve fund. The balance of this fund at September 30th of 2020 was approximately $13.2 million. The risk rating was strong, meaning low risk, and our percent funded, as you can see by the arrow here, was in the green at 71%. Our minimum target is 70%. So we're above that. It fluctuates from year to year, but we're in a very good, solid, strong position. Since inception, we've generated returns on our investments of over $1.5 million. And in fact, it's in excess of $3 million. Next is the Windsong Reserve Fund. The Windsong Reserve Fund is funded at over 100%. We're bringing that balance down over time as we don't need to be that high. The reserve fund amounted to approximately $78,100 at September 30th with a risk rating of strong. And so the final reserve is the Sendas Mountain Reserve Fund. And as of September 30th, the fund balance amounted to approximately $40,700. The percent funded is 62%, which gives a risk rating of medium, but is up significantly from 3 years ago when it was only 30% funded. So it's done very well, and I expect continued improvement. Next is our Capital Improvement Fund, which has increased over the year. The projected year-end balance is $312,000. 3 projects were undertaken in 2020. First was the Trailhead Security System. Second was the splash pad shade structures. And the third was the amenity access system, which will be completed in the fourth quarter of this year, which we're currently in. 2021 will be another building year. We have no projects currently planned, but we will be reaching out to residents with surveys regarding a wide range of topics, including new capital projects of interest. This chart shows you the CIF sources of funds and uses of funds since inception through September 30th of this year. On the left-hand side of the screen at the bottom, you can see assessments represented 47% of the funding, transfers of excess operating cash at 46%, and the remaining 7% was Blandford's contribution specifically for Boulder Mountain Park. If you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see the uses of the CIF since inception are listed, the largest being Boulder Mountain Park at 1.6 million. And the most recent is the amenity access system, estimated at $85,000. So now let's take a look at the 2021 budget highlights. Total operating revenues before contributions are $5.4 million. The reserve fund contribution is $1.64 million, up 4% from 2020, but as recommended in the most recent reserve study. The capital improvement fund contribution is the same as 2020 at $213,000. The budgeted surplus before depreciation is 0. This is our target number because what it really says is that the assessments are based only on cash expenditures less other revenues. So we don't include any non-cash amounts. So we have depreciation, a budget deficit after depreciation of 123,000, which is equivalent to the depreciation amount. This is more an accounting issue. It's not a cash deficit. Now, we believe the this 2021 budget addresses current issues facing the association. A couple of them specifically, we've added funds to the landscape budget for tree trimming, which is, besides the tree trimming, there's also a one-time catch-up, and for fire mitigation based on current circumstances. The 2021 budget was endorsed by the Finance Committee and approved by the Board of Directors at their most recent meeting. So let's go to the next slide and the big question. What is the 2021 assessment increase? And the answer is, there is no increase. There's no increase in the Sendas assessment. There is no increase in the Windsong assessment. There is no increase in Sendas Mountains assessment. So whenever we are going through the budgets for the current or the coming year, we also like to look ahead because we always want to have an idea and give homeowners an idea of what we think we have before us. So I'm going to give you projections, and I emphasize that these are projections, not commitments. So for 2022, there's likely no increase. 2023, likely no increase. 2024, likely no increase. And 2025, possibly no increase. So as I said at the beginning of this, these are projections, not promises, and are based on a set of assumptions. So let me describe what those major assumptions are. First of all, a rollover of prior year's surplus of at least $175,000. We have historically generated surpluses, and as I said, for the 2021 budget, we're rolling over at least 150,000. I think when all is said and done, it'll be even higher. The transition of the CIF contribution to the operating fund. So currently, the CIF contribution is up to 5%. The last few years, we have been allocating that full amount to the CIF. But if we find ourselves in need of some of those funds on the operating side, we'll reduce that capital funding contribution and shift it over to the operating budget. As well, there's an annual expense increase of approximately 2%. So what will the board be focused on? Well, two major things: our strategic planning, as Bill has mentioned, to enhance and grow Sendas. And as always, and certainly as long as I'm in the position, continued focus on ensuring Sendas' long-term financial well-being. So in summary, Sendas is in a solid financial position, in large part thanks to the efforts of volunteers who really do make a difference. As always, we seek to balance the control over assessments and the investments we're making in our community. And it's always a challenge, but we think we're at the right balance. As well, to continue the longer term view of the community's financial needs. So thank you for your ongoing support. It is very much appreciated. And let me turn things back to Christine. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. For those of you who might not know, Mike is someone who truly cares about the community and volunteers an extraordinary amount of time helping in any way that he possibly can. He is a true inspiration to me and to many others. Let's now turn our attention to our 3 committee reports. First up is Chairman Forrest Labroso.
Good evening, and thank you for having me on today to talk about the accomplishments of the Safety and Security Committee. The Safety and Security Committee was established back in 2019 with a charter of completing 3 projects. The 3 projects were to install an access security system at the amenities, install a security monitoring system at the trailhead, as well as do an assessment of all of the enclave gates and make proposals and recommendations to either upgrade or replace those systems. If you could go to the next slide, please. Our committee consists of Doc Watts, who's the board liaison, myself as the chairperson, Fred Glenn, and Scott Nevins. Mike Peckham, who was a valued member of the committee, recently stepped down to continue to focus on the financial aspect of the community. So we're open and hoping to get some applicants to fill the vacant seats that we have. Looking at the projects that were accomplished this year, the trailhead security system involves a review of the existing security that was in place, and we partnered with AAA Home Security to come and install IR sensors, door contacts, and a third-party monitored alarm system to increase the level of security in that building. The Enclave Vehicle Gate Refurbish Replacement Project was probably the largest project of the 3, and it involves reviewing and assessing the current condition of every gate going in and out of each enclave. What was found is that obviously these gates are original to the community in a lot of places and are continually being worked on, repaired, and refreshed. The goal of the committee is always to try to bring things up to current standards, understand what's being done in other neighborhoods, and be on par with trend, as well as keeping things current and convenient for the residents. With that, we've decided to do a large-scale replacement project, which is going to allow residents to utilize newer technology to enter their areas, manage access of friends, family, third-party vendors a little bit better, as well as make it a little bit more seamless for them to get in and out. We'll be doing that by using RFID tags and cell kits so that gates can be opened remotely from cell phones, and the tags will be recognized when you pull up to the gate and open automatically for you. It also helps us understand better who's coming in and out and how many vendors we have come visiting and exactly the workload that these gates are enduring day after day. The next project that we worked on is the amenities access control system. And again, this is trying to unify all of the security systems and access control practices that are in our community under one umbrella. And with that, we're trying to phase out hard keys. So we're going to be moving more towards an electronic access control system, updating the card readers, placing card readers and managed access control on areas that we want to keep secure and safe for everyone, as well as provide a way for the residents and the management team to easily control access to those areas and understand who's coming in and out of those spaces. Moving forward, after we've accomplished these projects on the charter, we're looking forward to 2021 with an eye of safety and understanding what can the community do, what can the committee do more in the community to promote an environment and a message of safety. Things like safety fairs, partnering with local emergency responders, doing different trainings, holding seminars and things like that are all on our list. We're open to suggestions. If there's anything that you would like to see happen in the community relating to safety and security, please let us know. And we'll be more than happy to take that under advisement. And with that, I will turn it back over to Christine.
Thanks, Forrest. I believe many residents will be extremely grateful for the upgrades to their enclave gates. For a full project schedule list, please visit the community website and watch your email for an announcement the week prior to your enclave scheduled upgrades. Now for an update on one of our largest assets the community maintains, I am pleased to introduce you to Chairman Jeff Burgos.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Landscape-related expenses account for about 30% of our entire expense budget. The Standing Landscape Committee was created just 2 years ago at the recommendation of our management company. Our primary purpose is to support the board and management to ensure our landscaping is of high quality and cost effectively maintained. And I might add, to serve as a conduit for our members' landscape concerns and suggestions. We assembled an extremely strong team. Some of these members were specifically recruited to address the key 2020 projects, such as soliciting bids for landscaping and addressing fire mitigation and invasive weeds. The next slide discusses, I think, the most important project that we did this year. Far and away, the most important committee effort in 2020 was to solicit bids for maintaining our landscaping. We had the same contractor, and I might add, exactly the same contract for 12 years. Due diligence alone was reason enough to go out for bids. However, there were other compelling reasons such as performance issues, contract compliance, and a need to evaluate our landscaping approach and related costs. In addition, studies have shown improving community landscaping will indirectly enhance the value of your homes. The process used to evaluate landscape maintenance contractors was extensive. The details of the evaluation process and findings can be viewed on our website. In summary, an RFP with a detailed statement of work and updated contract terms was sent to 10 potential contractors. We visited numerous communities to evaluate the quality of their proposed landscaping work. Our committee unanimously recommended to the board that ProQual Landscaping be selected. In summary, our RFP efforts resulted in a trifecta win for the community. First, I think we have expectations of enhanced landscape going forward. Second, contract cost will be under our 2020 budget, and importantly, would be a fixed cost for 3 years. And third, additional potential savings should be realized, including lower water usage. Although ProQual has only been on site for 3 months, they're off to a fast start as reflected in this table, which shows our contract bid expectations versus the actual results to date in the first 3 months. ProQual has already started installing 60 new smart irrigation controllers at no cost to the association, which will save water cost. They digitally mapped our current irrigation system and assessed our entire irrigation system. They volunteered to oversee all turf areas in October, even though only 50% of those areas were required to be done via the contract. They already beautified some of our high visibility areas, such as the community entrances and flower beds, which maybe you've already noticed. And they've implemented the use of a roving porter to ensure landscape issues are addressed on a timely basis. The other committee efforts, although soliciting landscape maintenance bids consume the bulk of our committee's efforts, other important landscape efforts were addressed in 2020. We continued our ongoing beautification efforts in key common areas. Over 2,500 trees on our major roads were evaluated via an independent arborist, resulting in the removal of 20 trees that were dead, dying, diseased, or overcrowded, which resulted in a cleaner and more attractive treescape appearance. We also performed fire mitigation efforts in 7 enclaves. Unfortunately, COVID-19 limited the scope of work done this year. And also we developed a plan with ProQual input to address and remove invasive weeds. Okay, plans for 2021. Looking forward, the committee has identified 3 major areas for next year. Number 1, first and foremost, address the scope and cost of upgrading our entire irrigation drip system, which is 25 years old. This includes an upgrade scope, including all irrigation components, controllers, valves, piping, and emitters. In January, we expect to receive from ProQual a detailed recommendation and estimated cost for this upgrade. With the estimated cost expected to be over $1 million, we will go out for competitive bids on this work. 2, continue to perform ongoing fire mitigation efforts. We are currently targeting 10 enclaves in 2021. And 3rd, the ongoing quality control reviews of ProQual's contract compliance and performance, including but not limited to some tree trimming. So I would like to please join me in thanking the Landscape Committee's efforts in 2020. There was a lot of work this year, and we had to meet multiple times a month just to get all of this accomplished, even during the COVID.
Thanks, Jeff. On behalf of the board and our entire team, we would like to thank you and your committee once again for all the hard work that it had dedicated to the landscape RFP this year. For our final committee report of the evening, Chairwoman Michelle Berrigan will provide you with an update on the replacement of 3 outdoor playground structures. Michelle?
Thanks, Christine. Hi, I'm Michelle. I had the honor of chairing the playground working group. for probably about 18 months or so, I'm going to walk you through a quick overview of the process. So a successful project starts with a purpose and objective, and ours included an in-depth review of the reserve study and a professional playground inspection that helped determine which equipment was at the end of its useful life. We also reviewed what reserve funds would be available and if capital improvement funds would be necessary. Our objective was to enhance our playgrounds with safe, modern, and inviting equipment that appeals to a wider age group and will withstand the test of time for our current residents and to attract potential buyers. The working group was made up by Los Sendas resident volunteers, Alicia Goforth, Jenny Oakland, Summer Wood, Cindy Mack, and are all moms of children of various ages, sizes, and abilities. We'd already had a lot of feedback to bring to the table from years of living in Los Sendas and visiting playgrounds with the kids. When you see these amazing ladies, please recognize them for their commitment and hard work. In June of 2019, we started getting current feedback from our children and their friends by visiting over 20 different parks and master plan communities like Los Sendas, as well as public city parks all over the valley, and a couple in Utah and Colorado. We shared our experiences and pictures and discussed at length before we brought our findings to the conversation that we started with 4 vendors that came out to see our parks. We had many meetings to determine what each of these 3 companies that proceeded recommended, and many edits were made. In the middle of all of this, the world changed and our meetings were paused. Then we rallied together and turned to Zoom and email because all of a sudden our children were at home all the time. And these kids weren't able to play outside or with their friends for so long. I don't think any of us expected it to be as long as it's been, but we were so determined that when the time came, they would have something really exciting to play on. 3 vendors presented to our board on June 25th of this year. The top 2 vendors' renderings were sent to a focus group where 90% chose the compound playground options offered by Place-Based Designs. This image shows the Sonoran Heights Park rendering that we worked from. So yesterday was Veterans Day. So what a beautiful day to capture what's really happening at Sonoran Heights. You can see it looks a little different than the rendering because it's real kids. We have 4 new components that look really different from what you can see in the before picture. They're unique and challenging, and kids have been playing on it and loving it. Never has there ever been a better reward than seeing and hearing these happy kids off their screens and playing outside. The poured in place rubber flooring is ADA compliant and wheelchair accessible, and the sand is so soft and fluffy. Shade structures are being constructed now, and they'll be installed in the near future. But as far as timing goes, we couldn't have better weather than this to play on it while we wait. The trailhead park equipment has been installed, and we're waiting on the engineered wood fiber to be delivered. In the next few days, the fence will come down and we'll see the explorers come out. This rope climbing structure that you see can accommodate up to 31 kids. So when we are able to have events at this park again, it's going to really be great. There's also going to be shade for the first time over the Trailhead Park coming soon. So the equipment at Gray Fox is being installed currently. The shade posts are going to be powder coated and a new shade will be up as soon as next week. The park is in a more traditional setting for younger kids, but the spinners and saucer swings appeal to many ages. We really focused on providing a different experience at each park, including Boulder Mountain Park, which was redone a few years ago and includes the splash pad. My face literally hurts from smiling from seeing the activity at Sonoran Heights. I've even seen some parents participating on this equipment. So I know it's taken a long time, but it was definitely worth the wait, and we hope your families enjoy them for years to come.
Thank you, Michelle. We too have seen numerous children playing on the equipment at Sonoran Heights Park, and we cannot thank you, your team, and ultimately the board for this much needed improvement. Another person who loves to see residents out and about enjoying the many features of our community is Morgan Collins. Over the past year, Morgan worked diligently with other lifestyle directors to provide you and your families with opportunities to remain social in a socially distanced world. It is my pleasure to welcome Morgan into our meeting.
Thank you, Christine. Good evening, everyone. I am Morgan, and I'm your guys' lifestyle director. The purpose of lifestyle is to build relationships by bringing people together in the neighborhoods where they live. I strive to achieve this every day in my role by providing a variety of programs and activities for residents to participate in. In 2020, we offered 13 different clubs. All of our clubs are free to join and open to the entire community. It is also free to start your own club if you're looking to find other people in the community that have the same passion as you. There's also many amenities within Las Sendas that are accessible to all residents and their guests. We have pools, parks, miles of hiking trails, a splash pad, and an array of sports courts. I found that our courts were a saving grace during this crazy year, especially our tennis and pickleball courts. With everything being shut down due to COVID-19, there were very few activities left to keep residents occupied. In 2020, the bocce ball courts were reserved 115 times, pickleball courts were reserved 4,976 times, and tennis courts were reserved 3,020 times. I think it's safe to say that the majority of our community found a new appreciation for these sports in 2020. Las Sendas also provides an assortment of programs. Whether you want to improve your tennis and pickleball game, your child wants to take dance lessons, or join a swim team, we have these opportunities for you available right in your backyard. And then the main piece to the lifestyle puzzle is our events. We had over 30 events planned for 2020, but as we all know, COVID-19 hit, and we sadly had to place all of our events on hold. The lifestyle program quickly pivoted and figured out how to keep the community engaged and connected during this difficult time. Whether we liked it or not, virtual events became our new best friend. Las Sendas offered over 45 COVID-friendly events and programs since the pandemic started. From Zoom trivia nights, take-home crafts, and we even brought back drive-in movies. And unfortunately, our beloved Food Truck Fridays were not COVID approved, but as a community, we were able to still support over 30 food trucks and their small businesses during this time of need. Las Sendas really made lemonade out of lemons this year. As a community, we walked all the way to Disney World, which is a whole 2,094 miles, while finding hidden Mickeys along the way. We were even featured on the Today Show for covering our streets with hearts and uplifting messages. Painted rocks with bright colors and positive sayings were scattered throughout the community for residents to find on their walks. We celebrated National Good Neighbor Day with free ice cream and a food drive to give back to the greater community. Even during such a challenging time, our community came together and donated 2,520 pounds of food. We raised $753.56, donated to the United Food Bank. This provided 5,868 meals to families in need. These are just a few of the highlights from 2020. I know it's been a rough year, but wow, am I impressed with all of our community's accomplishments. I do personally believe that there is light at the end of this tunnel, and hopefully in 2020 or 2021, things are back to normal because we have a lot of great events lined up for you guys. We'll kick off the year with plunging into the unheated trailhead pool. In partnerships with the Spa and Fitness Center, we'll be offering a health and wellness expo, a Viva Las Sendas for our gaming crowd, a 5K, which is actually happening this year on December 5th in partnership with the Las Sendas PTO. So please sign up if you have not. All the proceeds will be donated back to the school. We're gonna have an adult egg hunt for all you parents out there. Christmas Mania is gonna be a combination of Snow Day and Breakfast with Santa, and then Earth Day as well. These are just a few of the fun things we have planned for 2021. Okay, and now it is time for the moment I know you all have been waiting for, and probably the main reason you guys are all still listening. It is time for our main squeeze giveaway. And I want to give a huge shout out to ProQual and Park Pro for donating this zesty prize, 1 year free assessments. All right, let's see who our winner is. Congratulations, you're our big winner. So we will be reaching out to you next week to get this set up on your account. Congratulations.
Thank you, Morgan, and congratulations again to Rhonda. We hope this win will make your 2021 a little brighter for you and your family. As you can see, it takes many people to ensure that Las Sendas continues to be a desired community to live in. Here tonight is our board secretary, Linda Barton, to recognize these special individuals. Linda?
Thank you, Christine. In this section, we just want to take a few moments to thank all of the volunteers who have worked so hard over this year. Your work has been extremely important to the board, to the staff, and to the entire community in allowing us to achieve all of the projects that you've been hearing about tonight and many more things that go on a daily basis. We have over 50 people serving on the committees, and we have 8 committees. You'll see on the screen all of the people who are serving on these various committees. You've already heard about the Audit Committee, the Finance Committee, the Landscape Committee, the Security and Safety Committee, and the Playground Equipment Replacement Committee. In addition, we have an Architectural Review Committee that looks at both custom and regular homes. We have a Communications Committee, and we have a Short-Term Rental Working Group. So as you can see, whatever your interest might be, there's a group there for you to participate with and help move forward. We can always use more expertise and more ideas. And as you notice through the presentations tonight, there are several vacancies currently on the committees. We hope that you will consider joining us and helping to continue to build our beautiful community and make it the great place that we all appreciate. Thank you all, volunteers.
Thank you, Linda. It is truly wonderful to see how many people volunteer their professional expertise and time to further improve our community. Others who have volunteered a tremendous amount of time to the community are 3 outgoing board members. Bill, would you please introduce these members and our Nick Camelone Award recipient?
Thank you, Christine. I sure would like to do that. First off, I'd like to say that this slide is really lemonade to me. It's really bittersweet. I have enjoyed, and I know the board has enjoyed, working with these 3 fine people so very much. Bruce Bilton took over for my good friend Joe Charter when Joe resigned earlier in the year for personal reasons, stepped in, did a very admirable job. Alyssa Goforth, our vice president, has been on the board for several years. She's been on several of our committees, has just been a great voice of moderation and inclusion within the group, and I'm going to miss her quite a bit. Doc Watts. Doc has been probably the most selfless gentleman I know. He's been our chairman of our 2 architectural committees. He's been on our safety and security committee. He brings a wealth of knowledge, and his ideas and his perspective is truly unique. And I will miss these 3 so very, very much. And I just want to thank each and every one of them for the untold hours, the countless hours that they've put to this community and to making this a great place to live. With that, every year we award a special person with the Nick Camelone Award. This award is given to an individual who performs extraordinary service that directly benefits our community and who does it in an unselfish manner, does it not to draw attention to himself or to herself, but does it really out of the deep love that they have for this community and its residents. To win this award, we have very specific traits. There has to be a dedication to getting things done, courage to speak out, acknowledge key contributions from other team members, display a lot of personal integrity. It has to go to a person that respects individuals and their views, a person with tenacious work ethics, and somebody that achieves substantial positive outcomes for our community, and always doing it with a smile. So the person that we have tonight has made the following exceptional contributions to our community. He promoted the concept of the master plan for Boulder Mountain Park improvements. He worked tirelessly with the board, with landscape design firms, the engineering firms, to ensure that the community's interests were protected in the best possible fashion. Quite honestly, without the master plan, Boulder Mountain Park couldn't be the wonderful space that it is now. It'd just be a hodgepodge of various improvements. And one of the most popular amenities that we have now, the pickleball courts, are really one of the reasons behind this gentleman's focus for Boulder Mountain Park. So I'd like to congratulate Mr. Rick Curran, the 2020 Nick Camleone Award recipient. Congratulations, Rick. We truly appreciate everything that you've done for this community over the years, and you're very, very deserving.
Thanks, Bill. And thank you again to Alicia, Doc, Bruce, and Rick for all you've done for the community. It is now time to introduce to you our newest board members. And I'm sure that you can guess the three candidates who ran for the three open positions won. Those members are Kelly, Pat, Kelly and Pat will actually serve for 3-year terms, and George will serve out Joe Trotter's remaining term until next year's annual meeting. So if you'd like to meet our newest board members, please attend their next meeting on December 17th. It is now time that we thank everyone for participating in tonight's meeting. Again, if you have any questions, there is an icon at the bottom of your screen. It is listed as Q&A. Please list your question there, and the board will respond to those questions via email no later than November 20th. I now ask that Bill Hetling adjourn this meeting.
Thank you again, Christine. Thank you once again for all of our presenters this evening. Thank you to our board members, our committee members, to you, our residents. And with that, I would like to adjourn our annual meeting for this year.